Hi, David McCammon here, Image Power with David McCammon Photography. I wanted to talk to you today about photographing glass. And I just need to move this onto the next image. All right, I'm going to be talking about these. There's 12 images here. I'm going to go fairly quickly. I've photographed for this organization for over 20 years. Had a ball doing it. They're a joy to work with. I mean, imagine just getting this product sent to you for several times a year, and it's just so beautiful to work with. Beautiful colors. It's just really intriguing. And I find that with most of my clients' work, it's just an honor to work with people that create things to sell, to promote, and create wonderful images for them to use. So my goal here as a photographer is to light and photograph these. Now what I do for them is we do it on a white background, so it's ready to go into a catalog or an advertising piece. It can be close cropped relatively easily, and it creates a consistent look. And the other piece that is important to me is this company sells their product right across the United States and Canada. And so I want somebody who opens up their ball, say the second image there, in the eastern US, wherever, hangs it on the cast iron hanger, similar to the one on the bottom left. And that connects seamlessly with the moment they fell in love with the image of it that I've created, that this company has produced in a catalog, or seen it online. So that having that system of process and a true quality that represents their product is really, really important to me. And I do everything from very small balls, 3-inch size, the glass balls, right up, like the one on the lower right there, the green one, that was a very small ball, and up to some beasts like the 1/3 in. It's a big chunk of glass, let me tell you. Weighs a lot. I have to, I remember first time, some of them we hang because they have the same attachments on the top as the second image. So it was a little scary the first time hanging it, frankly, but with care and whatnot, it's highly manageable. I remember I actually, anytime I hang a big one, I put some a piece underneath, padding, so that if something happens where the line breaks or something, it's not going to fall onto a hard surface. So that's the kind of care I take with your products whenever I photograph them. And the other piece is that I'll say, when I get in this case, the glass sent to me, any products though, I will look them over. I usually unpackage them, partially unpackage them the night before I'm going to photograph them, the day before I'm going to photograph them, and get a sense of what I'm going to shoot when, like in an order. That makes sense because you don't want to go from, say, that big one on the third on the top, third on the right, and then go to a small one, then back to a big one. Very inefficient because there's subtle lighting differences, there's camera position difference, possibly a lens change, and you don't want to just keep going back and forth. You want to keep it smooth and efficient and cost effective. That's important to you as my customer, and it's important to me as well. So there are a lot of things that I take into consideration before I even start the session. And I can do typically 30 of these in a day. I've done up to 45 in a day. That difference can be a matter of just the differences in how much I'm changing. I may add on a day to, or a part of a day to cover the last 5 or 10, whatever is required to get it done efficiently and on time. All right, let's have a look at a couple of these things as we go. So one of the things that's important with this company, and that's another piece, is I need to find out what are you looking for? What's the key element here? Color is very important to them. They do a lot of mixing of colors in their glass. You can see it here, beautiful. But also the shape. And the shape, when we're photographing it on white like this, the shape is not as clearly defined in the base, but my angle illustrating the top gives us a nice sense of shape and size. So there's a variety of ways of controlling that final outlook, if you will. Another challenge can be we're working with sometimes dark colors, rich colors, and sometimes on the outer surface it's not white, but it's quite bright surface. You can see it here in this area here and here, that kind of thing. So it's important that I show that, and that requires a slightly different way of handling the lighting. Same thing here. There's a fair bit of white in that piece, and then I'm going right to black in the stands. Well, I want to have some light areas in the stands, so I'm creating some definition in the feet here. I've got some highlights here and around here. So all these pieces make it that much more interesting and tends to make people want to buy them. Sometimes we add props. So for this particular item, they wanted me to add water, and then they had these sticks. We've also added some cut flowers, so I'll go out and purchase cut flowers before the session and be prepared. I'll have had a look at the glass, so I have a sense of the colors of flowers that I want to have, and that can be seasonal. Isn't much of an issue anymore. You can find flowers that work nicely. How deep do I make the water? Well, I don't want to have the water go up into this really interesting, you can see even the wood sticks, how they sort of interfere with the color a little bit, and the water would do that even more. So it really only needs to be up so high. And typically, if I'm uncertain, I'll consult my client. I'll say, how deep do you want that? Especially a new client. As I said, I've been working with these people a long time. I've left the glass on the bottom, which is my support here. That gets removed in post-production. Just love this piece. The subtle colors are just so lovely. And that inner dimension of those pieces of glass coming up or down to create that mystery of what's inside that glass. So not only do I get excited about my clients' products, I'm interested in what they're producing, and this is an evolution from a product they produced in the past. So it's always fun to see new products coming from them as well. They also do solar lights where you can have a mount and put it outside and have a sample of the actual holder in a moment. But again, it becomes a important piece to get that black right. So it's black for sure, but I'm getting, I'm even seeing this line in between here. I'm getting a nice highlight here, and even coming down here. A lot of the time, people don't necessarily see that, but I'm telling you, they perceive it. So it adds dimension and depth to the final output. Hanging ball, again, that complicated piece of adding a nice light ball of glass to a solid black metal piece and incorporating detail and elements in the black piece. I could have added, I don't remember at this point, I may have and took it away, but sometimes I may do this shot and then I think, maybe I need to add a little highlight to that curved piece and I'll put it in and then I'll go, no. And it doesn't take me a long time to do that little extra piece, but then I've got it in case they want it, because they don't see this till I send them basically my choices. And if I'm unsure, and I really think it's going to take me a while to fix an issue like that, I will send them a sample and say, how would you like me to handle this? And they'll usually because they know I'm shooting for them that day, and they'll get back to me quite quickly. So there's that process as well. It rarely happens that I have to reach out to them, but it is important that I keep that communication going in case. The other piece is when I hang that ball, I mean, there's so many different angles I can hang it from, right? So I can turn it. And so I really wanted to show both of these details on either side. If I turn it, say this way, counterclockwise, that's clockwise actually, then I may only see one. And I will look at it and make a decision in the process. If I'm not absolutely sure, I've been known to shoot something like this, say 3, maybe 4 images quickly, just to see it and make a decision, and then knowing that I have that as an option for my client after they see the final images. A stand again, black on white, but I want to show all the distinct shapes. So I've got to position that piece properly. I turn it subtly so that I can see them all separate here. If I turn it too far this way, then these two are going to cross over, which may be appealing for certain products, but in this case, I didn't think so, and neither did they. And even showing the open spaces at the bottom here. So these are the kind of details that are really important to me whenever I'm photographing products for clients. And it's pretty fast because I've done so much of it. I know what to look for. I know what to change subtly to create options for my clients going forward. The solar piece that I described before. So again, pretty straightforward. I'm hanging this, so it's just touching the bottom here, getting a highlight into that face, as well as some highlights coming down into the reflective surface here and up in here as well. So if you don't handle that properly, it's just a black blob, right? And you want that detail and information in all your products. Love this piece, that curving element. Now, another important piece here for me, for this client in particular, a subtle turn, and I see the definition here. I see that this is a separate piece, as well as retaining this. And do I make a choice? If I turn this a little, remember this actually, I turned it a little bit more, but this coming too close or too far away just wasn't attractive. So this was the ideal spot for this particular image. And you'll see you get air pockets from the blowing of the glass. And I asked the client early days, is that okay? Is that right? And they said, yeah, that's fine. No problem. That's the nature of the beast. And even capturing subtle distinctions of the clarity of the glass here versus a slight smoky quality that's been added to the top portion. This is all, I know, important to my client going forward, and I know it will be important to you as well. Beautiful green product. Again, those light elements, wanting to show them off as well. I mean, these little pieces here, that's something they carefully add to their production process. So I remember asking early on, what about it's coming white under here? Is that okay? But oh yeah, they liked it because it had the feel of glass to them. So again, those questions that I ask my clients create opportunities to create the best result possible for them. This is the same piece done differently because it's open at the bottom where the light goes in. So it's designed to fit with this system. But what's really important is to get that consistency of color from one to the other, so their clients recognize, oh, I could buy two of these, one to hang or one to put on a shelf somewhere in my home, and one to put outside in the summertime to glow at night as well. So that consistency of result is super important. That's about all I wanted to share here today. Thank you for listening, and if you'd like to call and discuss your product photography needs, please reach out 519-742-9222 or email me through the site. Thanks very much.